Fellow members of the WGA East and West, I wanted to take a few minutes on Labor Day 2023 to acknowledge the meaning of this moment. This is not, strictly speaking, an update on negotiations. I'm recording this message a few days before the holidays. Let me start by thanking the Guild staff, everyone who works at the Guild. They are labor too, and they have dedicated their working lives to the cause of writers and writing. Over the course of this year, they have given everything they have for us, and everything we will one day gain we owe in large part to them. We need to acknowledge the members of SAG-AFTRA who march on picket lines alongside us every day. Labor strength comes from numbers, and 171,000 irreplaceable workers is a pretty damn good number. We have each other's backs, SAG-AFTRA and the WGA. We say that out loud on this Labor Day. We are all in this together. Together, there is no way around us, and the only way through us is to treat us fairly. Still, we've seen in this strike that the system is inherently cruel. It requires not only that we bleed in order to succeed, but that others do too. If writers could have avoided that and still demanded and won what we need to survive, we would have done it. So to those members of other unions, crews and drivers, everyone who makes a living in and around this business, who is not on strike, but for whom the strike is causing real pain, we owe you a great debt. We will not forget what you have done for us, the Teamsters and IATSE, laborers and electrical workers, musicians and other craft workers, and everyone else. What we promise you is this: as you have stood with us, we will stand with you one day when it is your turn. That is how labor gets its due. For all its costs, it is the only way. In the meantime, the guilds and unions of this industry and its individual members have set aside or raised more money, tens of millions of dollars, in 4 months to protect and support each other than we are asking many of these companies to pay us for an entire year. This strike has brought out so much goodness in people, so much bravery and resilience, selflessness and generosity, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the membership of the WGA itself. On behalf of the negotiating committee, board, and council, it is our greatest honor to lead you through this struggle. To the lot coordinators and the incredible corps of strike captains, and to every individual member of this guild, you are marvels. You are models of what dignity means. Everything that has made you writers, your sense of humor, your sense of responsibility to the world, your sensitivity to the plight of others, your conscience, your courage, your ability to persevere through obstacle after obstacle, all these things you bring to this fight, and they have served you well. We do not write because it's easy. We write because we have no other choice. The same with the fight to save writing itself. It's not easy, but we have no other choice. On Labor Day, it's worth remembering that. We are not on strike out of greed, nor do we begrudge the companies their success or deny their struggles. We all must succeed together. But the changes the companies have orchestrated in the business have made the profession of writing untenable for us and for everyone who comes after us. And that fact hasn't changed because they waited 102 days to talk to us and taken their time since then. Our feet and backs may ache, but our cause is the same. Our case is the same. We all know the list by heart by now. The erosion of pay, the abuse of screenwriters, the failure to protect Appendix A writers and the move to streaming, the dismantling of the writing process in episodic television, the threat of AI, the refusal to provide streaming residuals that grow with viewership. Each of these things is an existential issue for some or all of us, which is why we have said to the companies, writers have and will negotiate the solutions to these problems, but we're not going to pick and choose amongst them. We're not going to leave any sector of the guild behind. These things must be resolved, and not with contract language that has a 1-to-1 ratio of promises to loopholes. Truly resolved. Of course, that's not the AMPTP way, and it's a hard thing to give up on something that has served them so well for 40 years. They are in the process of wrestling amongst themselves, ramping up their public relations, and coming to terms with the fact that with writers on strike and actors on strike behind them, this negotiation is different, and they're going to have to do more, offer more than they usually do. Much of our frustration with how long this is taking stems from that, from their internal bargaining. But they will get there. None of which protects us from being scared sometimes and tired all the time. It doesn't mean we don't wish for this to be over. There's not one of us who wants to be on strike one day longer than is necessary. But in fact, they have made us stronger than we ever imagined we could be. Because there is no point in going back to jobs that may not be there in a year or two. No point in going back to jobs that don't sustain a career. No point in us permitting the AMPTP to enforce a system that bankrupts our health and pension plan to the devastation of every writer, regardless of their position in the industry. They have given us the awful gift of endurance. As for the companies, they are increasingly alone. Voices on Wall Street that were skeptical of their strategies are growing louder and more persistent. The trades that used to take their side are calling them out. The states of California and New York, whose welfare they have brushed aside, have raised the alarm, so have public pension plans. Their platforms are running low on fresh product, and soon they will be asking their customers to subsidize their intransigence, all of which is not a path forward. One more thing I want to say. This strike will end, and we will go back to work, and it will be better when it's over. But we will also remember it for what it was. In a world where we're mostly asked to take care of ourselves and maybe a small group of people around us, this is something else, something pretty rare. I feel it every time I turn a corner and see 500 people on a picket line, or see a lone neutral gate observer patiently doing their job, or watch a captain keeping people safe when a light changes. I feel an overwhelming sense of love and connection to people, most of whom I've never met and may never meet again. We're here for ourselves, of course, but mostly we're here for each other. I'm doing this for you. You're doing this for me. That's the only way it makes sense. And that is ours to keep, even when this is over and we go back to our own individual lives. This fight we fought together. And that is where things stand on Labor Day 2023, which is a celebration of the dignity and value of those who work, an acknowledgement that this country was built by the people who take home a paycheck. For us, though, it's not a celebration, not yet. For us, it's just a day off, a time to rest up to finish the job. We have no choice. We are either proof or disproof of the proposition for which we stand, which is that there are limits to how workers can be treated, that management by siege and by silence cannot just wait us out, and that labor, when it bands together in opposition, can have its day. For labor all across the country, this is the message. We and everyone who strikes with us are the beacon of hope. We carry the flag. On this Labor Day, the eyes of labor are on us. So tomorrow, we will pick up where we left off, with a message of determination and resilience, but also of openness. We have never been the company's enemies. We are not their enemies now. We are their creative partners first and foremost. That is our goal, to win a fair deal and to be that again. We'll get there. In the meantime, get some rest. We still have some work to do.